You know, silver and gold, they are worldwide markets. But what fascinating information do we discover when we look at the world's biggest economies? If we take a look at the world's 5 largest economies and what's going on in those economies with silver, with gold, with platinum right now, do we discover some pretty cool information, something that makes us feel very happy about the investment maybe you've already made, I've already made into precious metals? I think you'll be real happy when we go through a list of the world's 5 largest economies in just a little bit. Look at each one and discover what is going on there and what it means for the metals prices as we move into the end of the year. And of course, we got a big bonus kicker I always try to deliver at the end of the video, something that a lot of us have not thought about that could mean unbelievable support, the final afterburner rocket booster for the silver price and the gold price. Let's get started right now. How's gold doing this morning? It was up. It's Friday morning, September 15th? We've had a little bit of movement. Let's just review really quickly, super quickly, guys, because this is so critical about what went on this week. We got high inflation numbers. We got great retail sales, right? Can't you tell when you go to your local strip mall and half the spots are empty? But nonetheless, the government told us we had great retail sales. Well, at least if you don't factor in inflation, they were great. Nonetheless, both of those data points should have clobbered the precious metals. We should be sitting here this morning crying, right? Right? Giving each other solace. Is that the right word? Don't worry. I got a new word for the week we're going to cover later. But nonetheless, maybe we should be at $1,700 gold right now. Maybe we should be at $19 silver. But we're not. No, we're not. We're at 1920 gold and almost $23 silver. Big change this week, guys. Change in paradigm. Inflation's running hot. Should have killed gold and silver. Retail sales are hot. Should have killed gold and silver. Didn't, because you know what? Everybody's waking up. That's not what this video is about. But we need to recognize and drive home that important point that we can get much, much higher silver and gold prices in an environment where we have inflation and the Federal Reserve and our friend, right? We love him. He's so cute, isn't he? Old Jerome Powell. He's very cute, but he's full of poop. I'm going to use a nice word. And he's been neutered in terms of his ability to fight inflation. New paradigm, new world. Now, let's get into this crazy information about the world's 5 largest economies. And when you take a step back with me and look at the world's 5 largest economies and what they mean for the precious metals, I think we put some pieces together that are very, very encouraging for the precious metals prices. First, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Pimbex. Pimbex is best. They are an online bullion dealer. If you're looking like everybody else in the world is apparently, and we're going to get to that, everybody else in the world is looking to get silver and gold. You can get yours now from Pimbex, Pimbex. They have silver, they have gold, they have platinum. I've worked with them. They're a gracious sponsor and help make Ron's Basement possible. Now, do you know who the world's 5 largest economies are? Just so I don't screw it up, I'm going to go to my list and share that with you. And that's not the critical point. The critical point is we're going to think about each of these countries and talk about real facts, real things going on right now in each of those countries and how they are, let's say, very good. You like very good? Yeah. I know you do. Very good, very supportive for the metals prices. Okay. Do you know who the world's largest economy is? Of course you do. It's the United States of America. And you probably know the world's second largest economy. Yes, that would be our friends China, and they are gaining on us. We know that as well. What about number 3? That would be Japan, and that's very important to remember. What about number 4? Who's the 4th largest economy in the world? Germany? Yeah, you're correct. And number 5 is India. Now, that list alone doesn't really mean a lot. But let's forget about number 1 and move to number 2. Let's talk about crazy things going on in China with gold right now. And this is new information in terms of what I'm presenting to you. But guys, there is a massive disconnect going on right now between the COMEX in the United States and the LBMA when it comes to these metals prices and what they're selling for in China. China is setting a new price for precious metals. People are starting to get very excited about this. Let me read. I've got a couple interesting pieces I want to read to you and talk about. That's what we really want to do. This comes from my friend in Holland, okay? And this comes from his friend, Martin Verheyen, okay? Just to talk about what's going on in China right now with the metals prices. Martin says, for an ounce of gold, you currently pay $2,023 via the Shanghai Futures Exchange. That's the SFE. For an ounce of silver, $25.40. That is a premium of 6% for gold and 13% for silver when compared to Western prices. Okay, gold is now 6% more expensive in China. Silver is an astounding 13% higher. Unlike paper trading, this is critical. In precious metals, via the COMEX and the LBMA, the Shanghai Futures Exchange is more focused on physical trading, physical metal. So what explains the huge premiums in China? He thinks that it has to do with the fact that Saudi Arabia is starting to sell oil more in Chinese yuan, and those Chinese yuan can be converted directly for gold. Is oil being sold directly for gold? Is that what's behind all of this? We don't know, okay? Now, what's fascinating to realize is that the Eastern markets are setting new prices for metals. I saw another person comment yesterday who's in, I believe it was Hong Kong. He said, when I used to go to the gold market to buy gold, it was always based on COMEX and LBMA prices. Now it's based on the Shanghai. There's the SGE. You're going to want to remember this, okay? This is new, and it was newer information to me. Sam George Elephant, SGE. That stands for the Shanghai Gold Exchange, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. In the Sam Frank Elephant, SFE, Shanghai Futures Exchange. I think the Shanghai Gold Exchange is what trades during the day over there, and that settles in physical metal, and the Shanghai Futures Exchange is a futures market they have. I don't know a ton about it, but what we do know right now is that the metals are trading at significantly higher. What is that telling you? What is that telling me? Right? We know what Moscow and Russia are doing. The Moscow World Standard, they're wanting to set up their own market. What do you think is going to happen when all these big markets and countries that already produce, the lion's share? China's the world's largest producer of gold. Russia is number 2. What do you think? What's going to happen is, and Vince Lachey talks about this as well, is arbitrage. People are going to start, and that's what they're saying is happening right now. I mean, if you can buy something in the West for a lower price and then immediately sell it in the East for a higher price, do you think, you better believe it, people are going to be on that like flies on this, okay? That's the way it's going to work. We could have a new pricing mechanism developing right now, right in front of our very eyes. I know if you're like me, I'm 53 years old. Everything's always been the way it's been. But the reality is, guys, we got to accept this. We all say change is constant, change is constant. Well, could change be happening right now, right before our very, very eyes? Let's talk a little bit more. And then this is nothing. Okay, I got 2 more double kickers for you because we got to talk about what's going on in Japan. with gold. Yes, you heard that right. There is craziness right now going on in Japan with gold. All right, guys. Hey, thank you, Tony Erickson, Annie Oakley, Coin Shop, Chris, of course, for being here. Took a break from his ding-dong eating habit to join us on the live stream. Thank you, Coin Shop Chris, and for everything you do. And Coin Shop Chris and I will have a new video coming out this weekend. But let's just dive in a little bit more on the subject of China. Okay, here's the guy, Eric Yuan. You can't see that. Anyway, I'll read this to you. He says, so I finally pulled the trigger on the gold pendants that I'm ordering custom made for my little niece and nephew. Unfortunately, physical gold price in Hong Kong is no longer following the COMEX London price. I'm now paying the Shanghai Gold Exchange, that's the SGE. All right, basement dwellers, we got to learn something. We got a new word for the week we're going to talk about later, but we got to learn a new acronym. SGE, Shanghai Gold Exchange. I'm now paying Shanghai Gold Exchange gold contract price plus premium. Guys, the world pricing mechanism for gold and silver is changing right before our very eyes. This one says here, the Shanghai Exchange is a physical market. That's another key thing. No paper contracts, and more importantly, home of gold convertible to Petro-Yuan contract, which is already trading Russian oil, into which Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates are soon switching. Remember the BRICS expansion? This is just so crazy. He says, with this kind of price differential, it won't be long before Western gold producers and Western physical inventories drain over to Shanghai as gold returns to the monetary system. We said it before. I don't know. Do you think I'm crazy? I like the West could be forced back onto kicking and screaming, forced into recognizing gold, forced essentially back onto the gold standard. This is crazy what's going on. It says this is from the Oriental Ghost. Oriental, this is on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Oriental_Ghost. He follows this very closely. He says today gold on the Shanghai Gold Exchange was at 2023 and 2540. We talked about that already. All right. Hold on here, guys. Here, let's talk about silver real quickly. Okay? This was from yesterday. Silver on the SFE, the Shanghai Futures Exchange, was at 2556. I mean, incredible what we're seeing develop right now, right before our very eyes. What do you think? How long do you think? How long is it going to take, right, until the Eastern economies, the Eastern countries, take over completely the metals markets? Again, they produce all the metals. China, Russia, the two biggest gold producers in the world. We know what India, well, we'll get to India later. So that's China. All right. So we had our list of 5 countries: United States, China, check. Who's the third largest economy in the world? Japan. There's nothing, don't worry, there's nothing going on in Japan. There's nothing to talk about, excuse me, regarding Japan and gold. No, nothing at all. Just a headline article. Just a new headline article. Guys, the world is changing. When it comes to the precious metals, it's happening, I believe, right now. Maybe I'm a pumper. I get accused of being overly optimistic. But, headline, Japanese panic, okay, buy gold as the yen implodes and inflation soars. I want you to think about that for a minute, but I got to introduce something new to you very quickly, okay, very quickly. The bear wanted to let me let you know that he has purchased some shares in First Mining Gold. Can you see that? You may not be able to see that. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, we have two sponsors on this channel, Pimbex and First Mining Gold. That's a company that I've owned stock in for years and years. I've made videos about the company for years and years. You can check me on that. They've graciously agreed to sponsor the channel. They'd like me to share with you some things about the company over the coming months. I'm not going to get into details now. I'll just tell you they're a Canadian gold development company. They already have two 5 million ounce deposits in Canada. They don't have to explore for it. They already have it. It's already defined. Big world-class projects in Canada, plus 4 other projects all in Canada as well. It's a company, you may know Dan Wilton, the CEO. He's actually been here in the basement physically. He's the only mining company CEO who came all the way to St. Louis to visit with me and a number of other investors, and actually came in the basement and did an interview. That was over a year ago. So check out First Mining Gold. If you want to get more information on the company, you can reach out to the coolest guy on the planet, okay? His name's Paul. You can email him, paul@firstmininggold.com. That'll be in the description as well. Now, let's get to Japan. Because what is Japan doing with gold? Well, they're panic buying gold. That's not some obscure gold and silver promotion website, anything else. That's from the Financial Times. That's like the Wall Street Journal. Big article about the Japanese gold buying frenzy in a hyperinflating Banana Republic basket case, such as Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Argentina, or Turkey, makes sense. One can also imagine Indians and Chinese liquidating, rushing to buy the precious metals, as they periodically do for other or less relevant reasons. But Japan, guys, the 3rd largest economy in the world. There's a frenzy of gold buying. That's right, the otherwise quiet population of Japan has found a new infatuation with gold. And it has, I can't believe this is happening. And it has the relentless money printing juggernaut that is the Bank of Japan to thank for it. Okay? Look, their currency is crashing because they've printed too much money, essentially. Sound familiar? Don't forget, there's a big double kicker at the end that we're going to talk about. All right? But the yen is going down in value, and Japanese people are panicking and buying gold. Man, we have almost 400 people here today. How about just this? And we'll get back to Japan. Don't you worry. Please give this a thumbs up. That helps get the word out, okay? Go check out First Mining Gold. Go check out Pimbex. And I owe you guys 10 rings of the bell because we got over 100 thumbs up. Thank you. Let's talk about Japan. Japanese households emerged from the pandemic with a ton of savings. But what's happening now in Japan, guys? Okay, Japanese people are very conservative. They saved up all their money, all their yens. Okay, and they have all these yens, but now suddenly their yens are becoming worthless. Okay, they have high inflation. So now they're like, oh, what do we do? Well, we can buy bonds, right? Does this sound familiar to you? This is going to happen. I got a big surprise for you at the end, but this is happening all over the world. This has happened hundreds and hundreds of times throughout history. The Japanese paper money is becoming worth less. Oh, surprise, surprise, surprise. Sergeant Carter, you only printed a bunch of money and it became worthless. Paper. That's what's happening in Japan. The people are freaking and rushing to gold. Again, that doesn't come from some obscure, crazy gold and silver pumping website. That, my friends, came from the Financial Times, which I think is based in London, England. Like our friend Richard Cooper's not based in London, I don't believe, but he's from England. So nonetheless, the LBMA's in London. They're freaking the Chinese. Think about this. And I was laughing because I thought there's a lot of Americans who don't know. There's a lot of Americans who don't know what the Federal Reserve is, right? We know that. You guys know what the Federal Reserve is. There's a lot of Americans out there. There's a lot of Americans that have no idea what the BRICS are. I bet you asked 100 Americans tell me about the BRICS, and they're going to start talking about a wall at their house, right? BRICS. They have no clue. I'm thinking, I bet maybe 40% of Americans don't even know that Japan and China are different, but nonetheless, they are different, okay? And they're both, by the way, the second and third largest economies. Are you starting to add that up yet? The world's second and third largest economies are a little crazy about precious metals. Asia? Interesting now, isn't it? So let's move down the list. Oh, yeah, Germany. Germany's number 4 on the world's largest economies. It's a known fact that Germans love precious metals. There's mining company conferences that go on in Germany. Germans love, and you know why Germans love precious metal? Because they've got this little memory. I think it was called the Weimar or whatever. They've been through hyperinflation. They've been through needing to put all their paper. Thank you for the super chat, Tony. And there was another one as well. Hold on. And Darcy. Guys, the super chat's so appreciated, so helpful to help support the channel. Okay, the sponsorships. We're trying to make a living, support a family with this. And we really appreciate all the support. I'm not going to beg you, right? My kids did go to school this morning with shoes on their feet. I'm not going to make up any fantastic story like I really need to get my kids want new shoes. High tops. You know how much Nike high tops cost? It's crazy. Anyway, we're talking about not buying high tops. We're talking right now about Germans in the 1930s wanting to buy a loaf of bread. Imagine you're a German. Huh? Yeah, 1930s. You want to get a loaf of bread. Guess what you had to do? And there's pictures of this. You had to load up all your paper money into a wheelbarrow and take it to the baker and trade a wheelbarrow full of worthless paper money for one loaf of bread. All right, so the Germans, and remember, they're number 4 on the list in terms of size of economies. They have a little affinity towards precious metals. They're huge buyers of precious metals. Let's go to number 5. Numero 5. Who's number 5 on the list? I wonder if the 5th country in the world likes gold. India? Oh, yeah. I'll be quick. Don't worry. You better know this, or you're in big trouble. If you're a basement dweller and you don't know this fact, you need to stay after school. We're going to have a special session on Saturday because India is crazy about precious metals. Now, you better know that Indian households have 25,000 metric tons of gold. Yeah, 25,000 metric tons. Do you know how much is supposedly in Fort Knox in the United States? That's right, 8,000 metric tons. So Indian households have over 3 times as much gold as the United States supposedly has in Fort Knox. I'm saying that quickly, but what about silver? You better know this fact as well. Last year alone, India imported over 300 million ounces of silver. That represented over like 36% of the world's production of silver for the entire year. India sucked in like 36% of it. So let's review, shall we? And then I've got the big bonus double kicker. Good news. Happy skyrocketing precious metals prices that we've all been waiting for. Yeah, I take flack. Yes, I believe in skyrocketing precious metals prices. Yes. Do you believe? Or do you think I'm crazy that we could get $2,600 gold next year, $45 silver? Huh? We're going to review. Let's review. Number 1, the United States. We're going to talk about them next. Number 2, in the world, China, crazy about gold. Number 3, in the world, Japan, become recently crazy about gold. And we'll say silver too. What the heck? Number 4, Germany, crazy about gold and silver. Number 5, India, probably the craziest in the world about. Put all that together, guys. Where's demand for silver and gold going? Through the roof. But that's not even the best part. Because the best part is the world's biggest economy. Yes, those bright and always eager to learn Americans who just watch their TV all day and have been brainwashed for decades against silver and gold. They don't buy any. Yeah, well, we do, right? But guys, we're an echo chamber, okay? The good news is this. What happened just in the last couple of months in Japan is going to happen here, or very likely could happen here. Even if we exclude the United States, which we can do right now, those other four countries are creating massive demand for precious metals. That's if we exclude. Hello, Susie. Susie's not home right now. And hello, I love you, Susie. Good to see you. She's at her mom's house taking care of her mother. Everything's fine here at the house, Susie. I'd appreciate when you get home if you'd please unlock the basement door so I can go out and get a little fresh air. Nonetheless, the top top 4 out of 5, right? They love silver and gold. We exclude the United States. What if Bidenomics isn't really working? And what if inflation goes up? And what if the Fed can't raise interest rates anymore? Oh, thank you for the super chat, Sean R. Super chat. What happens then? What if Americans, right? What if Americans start to wake up and realize, like, the value of our currency, our paper money, is going down, and it's not keeping up. I can't find any investments to keep up with inflation. What if America, that already on an A to F scale, when it comes to knowledge and interest in precious metals, goes from an F to a D or a C, or maybe like what is happening in Japan right now? Think about what's happening in Japan. There's an explosion of interest in precious metals. You know what could happen. It could be crazy, even with the smallest uptick in interest in silver and gold, like we saw back in March and April when we had that little, tiny, that was little, right? I mean, it was no big deal. Just 3 of the 4 largest banks in the history of the United States that failed, but that little financial crisis, banking crisis, sorry, I misspoke, banking issue. And you couldn't get silver and you couldn't get gold, and prices went up, and premiums. Guys, this is so critical for you to understand. Thank you, Shadow Work. I appreciate the super chat. I do. This is so critical to understand. The premium, and Pat Holland from the Missouri Freedom Initiative, I think, is who really drove this point home with me. And we love Pat. But he said the premium, the premium is the pricing mechanism. Oh, interesting. We get mad about premiums, right? If we're going to buy, a premium skyrocket, but the premiums, right, when there's this huge demand, if America decides to join the rest of the world, the other 4 out of the 5 largest world economies, and it will, silver and gold, they've always been the real money. It's just a matter of time. The premium is the pricing mechanism. You know, and on top of that, the COMEX and the LBMA, like we covered earlier, well, you know, they're kind of being overtaken, thank you, Ryan, by the Eastern markets anyway. It could be nutso time. Now, look, guys, I don't have a crystal ball. This is just my opinion. So don't make any financial decisions based upon what I'm saying today. Don't buy or sell anything. Don't get engaged. Don't adopt a puppy. Don't do anything like that. But wait. Is there more news? Who's the guy? I call him the crown prince of silver. And I love him personally. I always have. I've always respected him, and you very well may too. Keith Neumeyer, What did he do just recently that could have an impact on the pricing mechanism for silver? I want you to think about that, but first I owe you something. And I know you guys all just absolutely love when I do this. You've gone out of your way for me, and I really appreciate it. I want to say thank you. You took your finger and you pressed that thumbs up button over 200 times. And one of our viewers, Joe F., brought this obnoxiously loud, real live. This is a real cowbell. I'm telling you what, man, it is loud. And I'm going to ring it for you softly. Because bells are a part of this show. Richard Cooper. Well, let's talk about Keith Neumeyer, and then I'm going to tell you what I think Richard Cooper said about the bells. Anyway, guys, big news this morning in the silver world. First Majestic Silver, okay? The silver mining company, which is run by Mr. Keith Neumeyer. He's the CEO, one of the largest silver producers in the world. Coincidentally, Keith Neumeyer is also the chairman and founder of First Mining Gold. But we'll talk about that some other time. Keith Neumeyer's a legend, okay? Keith Neumeyer talks about triple-digit silver. They even have T-shirts you can buy that say triple-digit silver. Keith Neumeyer has started many successful companies. He's very wealthy. He's very smart. He's respected. Like him or not, he's opinionated, and he's a warrior for the precious metals, and in particular the silver world. What did Keith Neumeyer, what was the big news we got out of First Majestic? He's talked about we need a new pricing mechanism for silver. First Majestic has started a mint, believe it or not. Here, let me read this to you. Very interesting. Hold on. Yes, you heard that right. A mint. Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Bear with me. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. This is from Kitco. All right. First Majestic opens silver minting facility in Nevada. That's here in the United States, citing, quote unquote, incredible demand. Okay. Silver and gold producer First Majestic Silver today announced the launch of its 100% owned and operated minting facility, First Mint, located in Nevada. First Majestic offers, this is where it gets very interesting. First Majestic offers a portion of its silver production for sale to the public. Bars, Ignatz coins, and medallions are available on their company store. Last year, the company sold over 440,000 ounces of silver, generating $11 million in revenue, but they weren't minting that silver themselves. Now they're opening their own mint. Let's all type 4 if you love Keith Neumeyer, because I'm telling you what, man, he is a warrior for silver investors. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. First Mint will expand upon First Majestic's existing bullion sales through vertically. Oh, we got a new word. We got to get to that. Don't worry. It's the word of the week. Vertically. I'm going to say vertically integrating the production of investment-grade fine silver bullion. This will allow First Majestic to sell a substantial greater portion of its silver production directly to its shareholders and bullion customers. Here's a quote from our friend Keith Neumeyer. By minting our own silver, we are able to reduce unit production costs and expedite delivery time to our customers. Here's the kicker. This is a double, triple kicker. Here's the kicker from Keith. In time, our goal is to sell 100% of the silver we produce directly to the physical market, said President and CEO Keith Neumeyer. Okay? And they're going to have some of the world's most sophisticated minting equipment, blah, 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 blah. I'd heard him say in the past that their store is always sold out on their website, okay? That the retail investor wants to buy directly from the miner. Think about this, guys. This is one of the world's biggest silver producers that is working to bypass the COMEX and the LBMA. Go directly to the consumer. Remember what we said earlier? The price that you pay, right, which is the supposed price from the COMEX and the LBMA plus the premium. That's the real price. The premium is the price discovery mechanism. Keith Neumeyer, I've heard him say it, thinks they need to find a new price. He puts his money where his mouth is, doesn't he? He just built a mint so that they can sell eventually, hopefully, and I hope they do, 100% of the silver they produce directly to the consumer. Way to go, Keith. I am a fan of Keith, and I'm also a fan of Dan Wilton, the CEO who Keith hired to run First Mining Gold. I said I wasn't going to talk about that anymore. Interesting developments, guys. The word of the week. Yeah, we're going to do something new. We're going to try. It doesn't hurt to stretch our minds a little bit. So the new word of the week is redolent. And we're going to use it. We're going to try to think of a way. I want you to try who can, where the heck is it? Bear with me here. Bear with me. I'm sorry. Me and technology, maybe you're like me. Where the heck did it go? Here it is. Redolent. Write this down. REDOLENT. It stands for strongly reminiscent or suggestive of something. So we're going to try to use that in a sentence to subscribe. To subscribe, please do subscribe now that I had a Freudian slip, but describe silver and gold. Redolent. Let's see. The increase in the silver price is redolent to what we saw in the 1970s. Doesn't that sound sophisticated? So we're going to try to use redolent every live stream till next Friday. It'll be the Friday word of the week. It doesn't hurt for us to learn new words, but you didn't come here for a grammar lesson. Let's see. Whoa, look at all you guys today. This is awesome. 400 basement dwellers. Welcome, man. Unbelievable. We are growing and growing more. Susie's here. Silver Star, thank you for the super chat. Oh, my Lord. You guys blow me away. Man, unbelievable. So the 5 biggest economies in the world, right? What's the big key takeaway? Right? China loves gold. Japan loves gold and silver. Germany loves gold and silver. India is crazy, is all we can say about gold and silver, right? So the 4 out of the 5 biggest are nutso and growing when it comes to metals. The United States, this is the good news, guys. This is good news. This is not, it's the United States. It's like if your kid comes home from school with an F in math class. Okay, the silver lining is there's a lot of room. There's a big runway for improvement. Thank you, Daniel, for that super chat. We love all the basement dwellers as well. There's a bright future for the metals. There's a bright future for you and me as investors in the precious metals. It's going to be super interesting to watch this all play out, okay? I'll see you guys this weekend. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.